Hi, welcome and welcome back. I hope you're doing well. I see that there are some new subscribers that have joined the fold here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for subscribing. I've built up quite a bit of content here, and I think that there's some really good stuff there with some great nuggets of wisdom based on things that I've experienced, that I've learned, whether it's through programs that I've completed and a lifetime of experience with narcissistic abuse. But I'm so grateful that you're here, and I just wanted to acknowledge that because I get it. There's a lot of content out there and you have a choice as to where you spend your time. I want to encourage you, if you haven't already, to like, comment, share, subscribe. Also, if you have any specific pieces of content or topics that you would like to see videos on, then let me know that as well in the comments. I want to talk to you about navigating narcissistic encounters involving pets. I had an experience this week that I wanted to share with you. Basically, I was at a cafe with my dog and with my son. We had an appointment in the morning and we were having breakfast together on the patio of one of our favorite cafes, and they have a dog-friendly patio. And while we were there, a woman approached us and she was kind of hobbling along and a bit unstable on her feet. And she was complimenting the dog. The dog got excited, like he was ready to jump up to get attention or to get her to pet him. We have engaged the services of a dog trainer. He just turned one recently, and our trainer has been working with him since we brought him home. And that being said, I used a command that she had shared with us to get him to stand down quickly and to not jump on this woman and to further destabilize her because she was already struggling. And it got interesting after I started to command the dog. He was kind of excited and he wasn't really listening. I firmly reinforced the command to him so that he would stand down, not jump up, not destabilize this woman, because ultimately I would have been responsible and or the cafe, and we didn't want to do that. I commanded him more firmly. The dog did stand down. Without saying it to my face, she launched into this criticism out loud of the way that I was talking to the dog and commanding him. And basically she was like, that's not how you train a dog. You don't say, you don't do that. You don't say this to the dog. You don't command a dog that way. You don't train a dog this way. That's not how you train a dog. That is not how you train a dog. And she kept going on and on and on. And I sat there kind of like flabbergasted, and I'm thinking, okay, I got the dog to stand down because I didn't want him to knock you over. And so I'm thinking this in my mind and I'm holding my tongue. She didn't say it directly to my face, but she kept going on, and she was doing it at a level where I could hear her. And then she sat down at the table next to us in the chair next to mine. So she was still talking. I paused for a moment, and then I made the decision to speak up and to call her out. I called her out on being disrespectful and for being rude. And I told her that I thought it was unnecessary and that I didn't appreciate it. And I didn't appreciate her passive aggressive way of doing this. I went on to let her know that I did exactly as we had been instructed by our trainer, who we had paid hundreds of dollars for training, who I consider to be kind of a dog whisperer, quite frankly. And she got like all defensive and was like, oh, I wasn't doing this, and I didn't say that, and I didn't do this, and I had my mask on, and I da-da-da-da. And I'm like, oh, okay, it's one of those. So basically, I just firmly reiterated to her that I felt like I thought she was acting passive aggressively and that she was being disrespectful and rude, and that I felt like it was unnecessary under the circumstances, and that I would never let my dog just jump on anybody and just do whatever. I'm going to do what we were taught to do to get him to stand down and to obey. She kept making defensive comments and kind of tried to backpedal and tried to deflect and deny that she had, muttered all this disrespectful within earshot of me. And then she took a phone call, and so she got quiet for a bit. So while she did that, I also paused for a moment and I decided to text the trainer. And I thought, you know what, I could feel myself wanting to go in again and to really kind of give her another piece of my mind, because I thought she will not stop. And so I reached out to the trainer and I texted her and I explained to her what was happening in the moment. And I said, look, help me out here. I mean, if there's something that I could have done differently, let me know. I'm open, but this is just ridiculous. And I just sent her this message. And anyway, the trainer got back to me and she said, the situation as you described it, just the woman just seemed like she was trouble, from the get-go, it was going to be a problem regardless. And then the other thing that she had mentioned was that it would have been best to just let it go, walk away. Now, we were still dining on the patio, so we weren't quite ready to walk away. And we had the dog with us, and so he was eating, we were eating, I was still kind of sipping on my latte, and we just weren't done. The other thing that she had mentioned was she reminded me of what the command was for jumping. Another thing that came up was that she very quickly went from aggressor to victim to good guy. And she tried to kind of smooth everything over after kind of the words had been spoken, the criticism had been launched on a loop, on repeat. And she tried to kind of backpedal but smooth things out by paying compliments to me about the dog. Love bombing, sound familiar? So, and it just came across really awkwardly because she had already been criticizing and defensive and deflecting and all this other stuff. So then she went back to, oh, you have a beautiful dog. You have a beautiful dog. Oh, your dog is beautiful. You have a beautiful dog. When just a couple minutes prior, she had been trying to one-up me by talking about how her daughter was the head of some animal organization and that she's had lots of experience with dogs and that she just knew all these things about dogs. And incidentally, the dog trainer, in the text message to me, she had said to me, what you're describing sounds very typical, happens a lot, welcome to my world. There were some things that I took away from the situation. One was that it's okay to walk away. Now, in this case, I didn't. I made the decision after pausing to go ahead and just let her know what I thought about the mumbling and the way that she was talking to me and the way that she was criticizing and all this other stuff. And I felt compelled to speak up, and so I did. And I stand by that. Was it the best thing to do? Maybe not, but that's what I did. The second thing is texting the trainer actually in the moment was very helpful. She was able to provide me with perspective. She was able to even validate my experience because apparently she deals with this type of behavior all the time. People who think they know it all when it comes to dogs and who try to put her in her place or try to school her when she's been doing what she's been doing for a number of years. She gave me kind of a diversion so that when I felt myself getting into a dysregulated state where I was getting a little more frustrated, tempted to kind of escalate verbally with this woman, that texting with her and sharing what I was going through in the moment and getting that feedback from her and even getting a little reminder tutorial on the command for jumping, for example, was really helpful in the moment. The other thing was that I had my son with me, and definitely I really do try at all times to set a good example for the kids. Definitely didn't want to set an example as being a doormat or tolerating criticism or rudeness. However, in terms of just holding back from escalating anything further, and letting, my emotions get the better of me, like by getting angry with her and kind of going off, a little bit more, that I was able to, you know, regulate with the help of the trainer and be able to just kind of take a step back, say what I need to say, take a step back, not go all in or not spend too much time on it, and then turn my attention to, okay, this is what happened. Is there something I can do differently? What do I need to do? What do you think? And engage that way with someone who is a trusted person, a safe person, someone who has our best interests and the dog's best interests at heart. So that was helpful in the moment as well. The third thing that I would share as far as a takeaway is that this was not going to go well or be productive anyway. This lady was literally speaking to me and criticizing on a loop. She was already set on playing aggressor, victim, and then hero or heroine. And she clearly was operating on her own loop. And the fact that she kept criticizing and saying the same things over and over again, where I was able to hear her, I thought was very telling. So I say that to say that it was not going to end well, even though I maybe stepped out and took a stand in speaking up and not letting her just kind of have her way verbally in the situation. I was able to say my piece, but I had to just pull it on back in after that because it was not going to go anywhere. Like she dug her heels in and insisted that she didn't do anything wrong, and oh my gosh, and she was even gasping, and it seemed like she was so shocked that I had called her out. It was really interesting. Have you had a narcissistic encounter around a pet, or just even been in a similar situation where, say, you maybe were faced with a decision as to whether or not to confront the narcissist? Comment below and share your thoughts about it. It may help somebody else, in all seriousness. And you may have a different perspective on things than I did at that time. But I did want to share with you some of the tools that were helpful to me in that moment, because it happened so quickly. And we're talking, she went the full gamut in terms of the roles that she played in the situation within like a 5-minute period. It was very quick. Narcissists are everywhere, and you can have an encounter with a narcissist so quickly, and things can go south or sideways very fast. You may become dysregulated as you kind of take in the situation and realize who and what you're dealing with, and start to try to figure out how to navigate the situation in an appropriate manner. And none of us are perfect, and all we can do is the best we can do, and even learn so that, say, next time we can do things a little differently. Know that you're not alone and you're not crazy. Know who you're dealing with, know who you are. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.